What's up, everybody? Episode 225, Nothing is Opie, South Texas Golf Podcast. Tonight's special guest is Division One golfer, but he's from SA, but he plays at the U of H, Matthew Pawly. He's going to be on the show tonight. And Matthew, you got to click on right now. Go ahead and click on. I'm going to keep you in the green room right now. Yeah, click on right now. And so tonight, I'm really excited because I got a chance to play with this guy. He's got a hell of a game. He's working on some things right now, and we're going to go ahead and we'll get into that as we get into the podcast. We're going to talk a little bit about Masters, find out a little bit more about Matthew, a little bit talk about SA golf, what he thinks is his thoughts are on SA golf, and what he's got in store and how he got to that D1 level and how we can help that next guy or that next kid get into that Matthew Pawly status. All right. But before we kick things off here, let's go ahead and kick off my guy, Fairway Ed.
This is Fairway Ed from Corpus Christi, Texas. Oh, you're listening to Nothing is OB.
Man, this game is crazy. You come out here one week, you look like a major champion. The next week, you look like a 25 handicapper from Crabapple, North Dakota. But
Let's go, bro.
3 shots, 4 par, I just do 2. 1 putt, par 4, birdie, woohoo. New driver, info, replace, into par 5, fairway, what you fin do? Think I'll try to get on into, stop right, good line, good view, hit Drew, shooter McGavin, 2 thumbs that's up high and 2 fingers pointed at you, pew pew, fairway to green, conk off that I'm playing. Sometimes these par 3 look like an island, a punch and to keep it on dry land. At least I'm a try man, up with the 5 and might use the trap man. I got a check man, Los Angeles ball speed, rated that batsman, and where that ball.
All right, guys, here we are. Episode 225, Nothing is OB, South Texas Golf Podcast. We are presented by FOREBROS Tour. Never golf alone again. If you don't have a home, FOREBROS Tour has a home for you. And don't forget, guys, we're coming live from the Texas Chancla Studios. We got that Fiesta coming up. Your boy's going to be working a beer booth Fiesta coming up. If you have any trouble, make sure you hit up our guy, Jesse Hernandez. We're coming live from the Texas Chancla Studios. I got my guy, Matthew Pawly. How we doing tonight, my brother?
Doing pretty good. How are you, man?
Oh, dude, hey. Schedule is crazy, man. I played some golf, not
Nice.
good golf, and you know what? I want you to dissect it and tell me. I know you do some mental golf coaching and some mentoring. I need you to give me a quick fix over a stream here. All right, I need you
No
to.
problem.
I'm gonna lay out all the details, and then I want you to give me your honest opinion as to where I need to tighten up on. But how's everything going right now, man? School going good? Everything's going good right now. How's that swing looking?
School's going good. It's mostly just been a cycle of, get up, do school, and then, head out there and just get back to work. I'm working on a few swing changes, and obviously, feeling new patterns is always going to be tough to work on. So it's just every day I'm out there just grinding on it. But I post a lot on my socials about it and just trying to stay humble about it and keep going about it every day. And hopefully, by the time that this fall semester comes around, I'll be able to put it into play in some high-level golf tournaments.
Well, dude, I'm thankful that we had a chance to play out at Fair Oaks. I'm gonna tell you, I had to go see my chiropractor, bro. You gave me a backiotomy. I mean, man, you're driving all over the damn place at Fair Oaks, and I'm like, you gave me anxiety. You gave me all the emotions. I had, I was sad because I wanted to play this hole, but no, we skipped it to the next. Then I had a cracked L4, L5 on one side, but then you know what? You did a hard turn and you put them back into place, and so
Yeah.
I was like. Yeah, I had a lot of anxiety, man. I'm an old man, bro, but I'm glad we had a chance to play, dude.
Yeah, it's tough out there at Fair Oaks. It's like a shootout. So if you're not finding a hole, you're just gonna be sitting out there behind five some. So that's kind of what you got to deal with.
Well, okay, man. Well, let's get into some golf right now, man. For those people that don't know, Matthew is a golfer out at the University of Houston, like I kind of said in the intro, and also he's the 2024 San Antonio city amateur champion, and I want you to kind of talk about that too. And then the 2025 city amateur or city junior champion. Now, how did you win? How did you win that the amateur in 2024, but you're the junior champion in 2025?
So what's funny is the reason that I won the junior and I didn't play in the amateur in 2025 is because I think you can tell me what like the exact fact is, but I think somebody else took over. I don't think First Tee runs the City Am anymore.
That's
So
right. It's the Travis
it,
Tour. The Travis Tour runs it.
right.
That's right.
So when they took it over, and I got the email saying to like reapply for the 2025, I saw that they like upped the entry fee like $250, and then they put it at Cedar, which at the time was in a pretty not in a great shape. So I was just like, do I really need to play it again and then pay an extra $200 to play a course that's in worse condition than last year? And I kind of looked at the options, and I was like, well, I can either play this one or I can play the City Junior, which had 2 days at Brack and then 1 day at San Antonio Country Club. So I was like, yeah, I might as well take up the opportunity to go play out there, right? So
Oh no, I don't think that was a hard choice, bro.
no, right?
Well, as we get on, one of the questions I like to post and like to ask is favorite course. What's your favorite course here in San Antonio?
My favorite course in San Antonio is probably if I had to pick a public course, it'd probably be Quarry. And then in terms of private course, it'd probably be either Briggs or Cordillera. Um, I don't know if we can count Cordillera in the San Antonio area since it's in Bernie, but
Well, see, like I guess a lot of people get specific, right? In that sense, I say greater or greater SA, right? You have to say greater SA area, and so I haven't played Cordillera yet, but I said yet. I'm putting it out there, to the universe. So hopefully it'll answer me back. But damn, I love me some Briggs. And then today I got again. It's just you got to put good out there, and hopefully it comes back to you, right? I had one of the coaches stop me and he goes, "Hey, coach, you like golf, right?" I said, "Yes, sir, I do." He goes, "Man, I know somebody out at Briggs, and hey, man," he goes, "can you take off work?" And I said, "It's always about where are we playing, right?" I got invited to a tournament last week, and I said, "Where's the tournament at?" And they're like, "The tournament's at Santerra," and I was like this. Again, I had a request to take off, right? I'm like, man, like my days of requesting off are like they're gold, right? And I'm like, whatever, right? But you say Briggs, you say Oak Hills, hey, something open immediately, right? I got a cancellation
yeah.
real quick.
What is work? We don't. That's not a concept anymore.
Well,
Like
I say that, and they're like this, coach, why'd you reschedule our game? I said, don't worry about it. That's why. Like, don't worry about it, right? So,
something
so,
came
so
up.
Matt, hell yeah, man. So, Matthew, right here, you know what? We kind of chatted about it when we had a chance to play, and you know what? I talked to some other guys since then, and in a sense, I want you to be able to kind of tell us, your golf journey, how you got into the game, and how you can help that next kid, get their chance and get their shot.
Oh yeah. So I guess I got into the game through my parents. My parents moved to San Antonio, I think closer to around 2002, and before I was born, the what they used to do on like date nights after they got married was they'd go out to Rolling Oaks and hit range balls. My dad was like an avid golfer in high school, and then my mom didn't play any golf, so that's kind of what they would do. And then that's also how I ended up meeting my swing coach because he actually gave them lessons because he was teaching at Rolling Oaks at the time, Brad Martin, and he became friends with my parents because he gave them lessons, and then they became friends and played golf outside of that. And then in 2006, I was born, and my dad and my mom and I guess Brad would end up going out to the Republic Golf Club in Pecan Valley um, when I was born, and they take me around in a baby stroller whenever they went and go hit balls and practice and all that stuff. So
Oh,
I basically,
they're one of those people, huh? They're one of those people.
oh yeah. So basically, I mean, like they can't leave me at home. So I mean,
Well, because you know what, I feel for when I see a dad out there, right? With the stroller, but they have those badass strollers, right? The strollers that's got the club slots, and I'm like, people are
oh,
like,
those are
people are like, maybe you have women talking trash. They're like, "Oh, I can't believe you'd bring a baby out here," and me, I'm over here, man. He's such a good dad. He's such a good father, right?
right.
And then you
Hey,
see,
listen.
and then you see couples, and you're like, you don't bring a baby out here. It's like bringing a baby to the movies, man. Like you don't do it. But a dad does it. Hey, he's a great dad.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I mean, at the end of the day, like I wasn't gonna stop him from hitting balls. So I mean, my dad is like whenever he sets his mind to something, he's very far into it. So at least at that time, he was 3 or 4 years into the game. He's probably close to a 2 handicap or so, and I mean he was grinding at it every day. So he was out there after work, from if I had to guess like 3 to sundown practicing, and take me with him.
So I guess it's in the DNA then, is what you're trying to tell us.
Yes. Yeah, so I've always been in that environment anyway. And then eventually, as I grew up, closer to about, I think 4.5 to 5 years old is the first, well, not technically not the first time I picked up a golf club. I always had like a little mini putter when I was like 2, and I'd drag it around the house and, make little, you know, tiny golf swings with my little putter inside the house. And, my mom would record it, and, it'd be all funny and all that stuff. And then probably around 4 or 5 is the first time that I went out to a driving range. I think the first recorded video I have, it's like at first tee in like 2010, and I'm just hitting balls like off a tee with like a little U.S. Kids sand wedge. And I mean, from there, it was basically just in terms of, since my dad's always worked at home, and my mom has always worked in the medical field, and she's always at work. My dad would finish work and then, take me after school with him to go practice wherever he was. So that was just kind of my schedule as a little kid.
So you say that, like, is it wrong for like a grown man to have U.S. like kids clubs? Because that's what I still have.
I mean, maybe. If we're at this point where we're swinging our club to the point that we need those, probably might need some adjustments there.
Well, I'll take him to Ben. I'll take him to Ben to see if. Okay, well, check this out, right? So you know Ben, obviously, right? You know Ben, right? So my buddy, we're playing the other day, and my buddy said, I said, man, he's got that. What is it? The AD, that, or the Audi Zero, like the shaft, right? The orange shaft, the badass. What
Yeah,
is it?
yeah, 4 ADs.
Yeah, the
Yep.
Tour ADs. He's got the Tour AD, right? And you know what? He hits a good drive, and I said, man, dude, badass drive. And he goes, no, man, I can't believe these guys. These guys messed up my club there at Ben's shop. And I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, yeah, man, he had 2 like young guys working on my clubs, and I had the Ping 440 LST, and they gave me like the regular one. And he said he was pissed off, and I was like, dude, how did they like mix up like the head? And he's like, I don't know. He goes, man, I'm going right now to meet these guys. And I said, bro, it's after like 6 p.m. His shop's closed. He goes, no, they're waiting for me. I'm like, oh damn. And I said, man, you know what? Alex is off in Cali now, and I'm like, Ben's gonna have a hard time trying to replace Alex.
Yeah. I mean, I guess he couldn't wait until the next day.
Well, my boy's from out of town, so you know what? He's like in and out, and you know what? Like he's here for like 48, and then he takes off, and so, you know what? Okay, so back to Rolling Oaks, right? Like I loved Rolling Oaks as a range. I'm so freaking sad that that it's no longer there. You know what? Instead of like ranges popping up, we have simulator places popping up all over the place, which kind of sucks.
I see
Are you
that.
like are you a range kind of guy? Are you like a grass guy? Or are you like a simulator guy?
I'm more of a grass guy, unless I'm working on something technical. Then I don't like. I like the only time I like seeing simulators is if I'm trying to see like certain numbers, or if I'm just working on something technical. Sometimes it won't even be to a simulator per se. A lot of times I like hitting balls just kind of into a net, and then we have a mirror at our facility. So at least at this second, I'm a little bit more on the indoorsy side. But most of the time, uh, I like being outside and playing golf and hitting balls. Because I mean, for me, at least for my formative years when I was a teenager, I was always practicing out at Hyatt Hill Country on the west side. And at the
Okay, when you
time,
say west side, that's northwest side. Let's say that. Like, you want the west side is like Zazamora in like Guadalupe Street.
Golf
That's
Club Attack,
that is what we're talking about. Hey,
over there.
northwest side.
Oh yeah, northwest side, inside 1604.
That's totally different right here. I got a great comment right here. I got an emoji right here. Annabelle Reyna right there. Matt
Oh yeah, yeah.
Fire.
What's up? Well, I haven't seen her in a while. She lives down there in San Antonio.
No, well, here. I'm here. I'm, I'm here. She lives here.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
congrats, she got a new job. I'm happy for her. I can't wait to visit her. I can't wait to visit her out at a new course. And again, she does some great things right there. Oh, look right here. JK Golf's 42 right here. Can't wait for the one and only Pawly right here.
Yeah. That's I think that's Jackson. He's a kid out here at Golf Club of Houston. He's a 15-year-old junior player. Got a lot of potential. So I'm mentoring him a little bit. So I told him that I was hopping on this. So hopefully he can get something out of this.
Right here, look. Okay, got a question right here. You know what? Okay, we'll get it right here. We'll get the question. Good question right there, Jackson. We'll pop that up here in a bit. But let's back to your story, man. Hey, nothing's OB, and we're in the twosome. We're in the cart. Now it's my turn. Now it's my turn to take you on these twists and turns right here. So back to you right here. So as you're young, you're 5 years old. You're finally getting like a legit club in your hand. How was the jump into junior golf?
I think it was pretty easy since I was always out there anyway. And I feel like when I was younger, uh, I feel like I learned it a little bit different, I'd say, than most kids. And the reason I'd say that is because since I kind of grew up being around my dad, who was obviously a really hard worker at the game, and then also I started basically, since he was already giving my dad lessons, I would be there as well. So basically, I was already getting lessons from Brad at 5. So I guess in that way is a little bit different how most kids from maybe 5 to 10, they learn through, however, and they're out there playing for fun. For me, it was a little bit more structured, as I was getting lessons, 2, 3 times a week from him while he was there with my dad. So it was, I feel like, because I started playing uh, tournament golf at like 7, so it was pretty quick from there. Since obviously, since when you start at such a young age and you have that much structure, it's really easy for like a parent to be like, oh well, we have this much invested in him and he hits the ball pretty darn good. Let's go put him in a tournament. Um,
And I
so I
think,
feel like
no, go for it, man. Go
uh,
for it, brother. Go for it, brother.
I was just gonna finish. I feel like that uh, would probably be a more unique experience, probably starting golf at tournament golf at late age 6, age 7, um, than
Late?
most.
What do you mean late? So you're telling us that that's late now, consider now, like where the
No, I'm just saying like uh, after I turned 6, like closer coming into 7. Like I think I started playing tournament golf, just before I turned 7. That's what I meant.
Oh, okay, right there. All right. So I was gonna say, I was like, damn. I was like, man. Well, I'm way behind on things. And so, we had a middle school golf tournament yesterday, and we play the same course for our younger guys. The more advanced golfers play Riverside, like the big course, right? Like the full. But they only play 9 holes, and then you know what? The first flighters, which are kind of like the beginners, they play the Teddy Bear, which is the par 3
Yep,
course, right?
love
And
that thing.
yeah, and I think that's one of the better par 3 courses in town because it's got bunkers. It's a little bit
Yep.
tighter. It's scenic because it's right along. Hey, 2 holes border. The San Antonio River, which makes it a little tough. And they play it. He plays it a lot with his dad, and so and he didn't shoot. He didn't shoot like his lowest round, and again, this is early on, and this is middle school golf, but I think our kids at our school, because it's a private school, they're getting a little bit better coaching, right? They're getting a little bit more. Hey,
Of course.
coach doesn't have 30 golf bags in the back of his trunk. Just grab one and go out there or whatever, right? And I think, and I'm not saying me because I'm not the head coach, but I think my 2 coaches do. Like they give them like they have a game plan. They like you're not just out there just banging balls, right? Like there's a plan, and so he was disappointed in himself, and because he had been playing the course a lot with his dad, and he was hoping to like hit like a PR, to hit low and have his best score. And I said, bro, that's golf. Like this is golf. Like I said, you know what? You're not gonna beat this game. This game cannot ever be beaten. I said, but you know what? You can always do better. And he was just like, he's a young guy. He's like 12 years old and having a hard time understanding that. And, what would you say to a kid like that who is disappointed and, I guess is finally, is getting their taste, at like 11, 12 of competitive golf than as opposed to 7 years old?
So at least I would say to that kid, it'd be more of one, just kind of being able to manage your expectations. I feel like that's probably the biggest, uh, well, at least the most important part in developing in golf is just kind of understanding where you're at, and then just kind of understanding that golf is just a game of averages, right? Like if you're as good as you are, then, let's say for example, your scoring average is X, right? Some days you're going to have good days and it's going to be lower than your average, and some days it's going to be higher. And that's what ends up making it into that. So having the, you know, not having your average or better is, 50% of the game at the end of the day. So if you're shooting higher than what you want to, most of the time it's just on that upper median. And it's easier to look at it from that way instead of going, man, I didn't shoot my PR today. You can be like, man, I just shot, on the higher end of my average.
And see, and I think like that, for a dumb guy like me, like when you say medium and average, like I guess it's like how can you make your bad like okay, right? I guess or like when it's not your PR, it's on the higher end. How can you limit that, right? And I guess that's the thing, right? That's what the pros do, right? They kind of when they don't have their best stuff, they try to make their misses like or getting a good bogey or up and down or saving par or just like Justin Rose, man. I saw Justin Rose get a birdie opportunity from the pines from the pine straw,
Yeah,
and they're at the Masters, and like
yeah. And like the cut from the right trees. Yeah, that was crazy. That was like one of the best shots of the tournament, I thought.
yeah. Do you like hitting shots like that?
Yeah, I've always been like more on the creative side, which is why I think like as of late, more of my short game and then like other stuff like that. I've always been a little bit more like on the shot shapey side, and that might be more from uh, my coach Brad. He's also kind of on that side too. So we'd always have fun like on the range, hitting different shots out of trees, and low hook here, high cut here, all that fun stuff. So when the game becomes a little bit more creative to me, it's a little bit easier for me to visualize golf shots rather than me just like structured robotic type.
Well, I guess like I have to practice more of my wood shots because you know what I was in the woods a lot the other day and I'm like, man, I gotten used to just playing like being in the fairway. When we played, I hit for the most part I was in the fairway a
Yeah,
lot.
you hit it very fair. I felt like I was getting sandbagged. I was like,
No,
this
hey,
guy's the best driver ever.
hey, and then you know what? And then again, like my true colors, they leak out a little bit, right? They leak out a little bit. Well, so as you get into junior golf, you kind of get from what I hear from some guys, you kind of got lightning in a bottle, as you're making your way into junior golf. And you won some tournaments. And take us down, a couple of that stories, and take us down that path of how you really kind of got on the map with some of your finishes in some of these junior tournaments.
Yeah, I'd say that probably started happening closer to right when I turned 16. Up until then, my results were very like up and down, which was probably the most frustrating part of my game. And obviously, it's frustrating for a lot of other people that support me to see that because they see potential one day, and then it's offset by that the next round. So I've had a bunch of tournaments where it go 76 the first day and then 66 the next day, and that's just kind of how my golf game, and it still kind of is that way to this day, which is why I'm working on the things that I'm working on. But I'd say right about 15 to 16 is right where I really started trying to make a push towards playing bigger tournaments and really putting myself on the map for college golf. Because once you turn 16, that June of your, I think it's sophomore year, I think it's like June 16th or something, is right when college coaches can start contacting you and reaching out to you about recruitment. So at least during that time period, tournament golf and practice and motivation was just at an all-time high. And and at least at that point, it was either I play good, or I might not end up playing golf anymore if I don't end up playing college golf after this. So
What was the pressure like at 16, right? Like, what was the pressure like at 16 where, because I don't want to put all your stuff out there because you did disclose to me, as some determining factors as to why you're at U of H, what you were looking for and you know what, that's got to be tough on a 16-year-old. I mean, even though we feel like we're invincible at that age, where you kind of, this could be the, hey, I got to do something, I got to go in a certain direction, or, these clubs are going to get put up for good.
yeah, I mean, it's tough because coming into at least that season, the June July area, I wasn't really playing too well at tournament golf. And I mean, my overall like junior ranking wasn't like terrible. I think I was at that time anyway. I was probably top 100 for my age, so it wasn't like the end of the world. But at least in my mindset, I was trying to play at a top 50 Division 1 school. So at least from that perspective, it was kind of like, if I don't really do anything this summer, I'm probably going to end up going to some small D1 somewhere, and I could fizzle out, or not be in the competitive environment that I wanted to be in. So at least coming into that summer, it was pretty tough. But I feel like the most important thing that helped me get through that is I played well in one of my, or I played decent in one of my first tournaments of the summer, and I had made a bunch of like easy strategic mistakes, and I was hitting the ball great. So after that tournament, it was easier to kind of approach rounds with the mindset of like, I'm better than this, and I'm hitting the ball well enough and playing well enough to be able to shoot the scores that'll help me put myself on the map for these college coaches. But I mean, some of the periods, especially during that recruiting area, where I had probably played maybe 6 tournaments, multi-day tournaments within 2 months, and I mean, I had a I had a stretch where I went to Dallas for the Legends Junior Tour Byron Nelson, which is a big Texas golf tournament. Coaches come from all over the country to Texas just to watch that event. I'd gone straight from there and drove straight from Dallas all the way to Colorado and
Oh,
played
shoot.
8 up there, and then drove all the way back from Colorado, and then 2 days later drove all the way to North Carolina to play in the North South Junior, and then came all the way back from there and played a local tournament here at the Quarry, which is another 2-day event, and then a few weeks I think after that we flew to Georgia to play in the Jones Cup at Sea Island. So it was a very like large stretch of golf during that time
Shoot, man,
period.
like it's almost not fun. Like just I'm over here like it seems like it was more of I guess it seems like it was almost more of like work right there, and I guess you kind of learned it at an early age, man. And I guess does that kind of I guess shape your view or your vision, your thoughts you have like on the game.
I think during that time period, it was kind of hard to like reflect on how much we were traveling and how much we were moving because, right, I think on the way home from that Colorado event after Dallas, well, to start off, actually, in the Dallas event, I think I had over the span of 3 days probably 20 different college coaches, and I mean, they watch you like really close, which is kind of funny. Like it'll be from here to the screen, standing right behind you in the middle of the fairway. You know, 4 college coaches, and they watch you play for 8 holes straight, and they're standing within 10 yards away from you. And it's tough to, you know, when you're 16 and you know that how you play this summer is going to be affected on how the rest of your career goes. It's hard to get over your first tee shot of the day, and you have 5 college coaches standing right behind you and be able to execute a shot. And then you do that, for a month and a half. Uh, I mean, it's tough on your mental for sure.
I like we were talking. I was talking with that with somebody. It's like, don't look at me, turn around, and let me hit my shot, right? And
Yeah.
damn, that's got to be a lot of freaking pressure, bro. But as a coach, I'm a coach. I've been doing this about 22 years. You can't duplicate reps like that. You can't duplicate tournaments like that. And I guess is is that something that you were kind of bred for it? You were kind of trained in that. You were tourney golf, competitive golf. Like that's just like that's what it did it for you. Like where you thrived, maybe where others didn't.
I mean, I feel like having the experience, obviously from the younger age, does help tremendously. But I do feel like even if you do start at a young age, at every single level that you move up, it's a new environment. Like for example, like if you move up from younger tournaments and then you start playing with teenagers, I mean it's a new level of environment. Then you move up from there and you're playing national events now. It's a new level of pressure. So like at least in my experience, every single level that I've moved up, it's felt like it's a brand new environment. It doesn't feel like anything's familiar. And at the end of the day, it's putting yourself in that environment over and over and over until you get comfortable with it. That's probably the most important part about tournament golf is just getting reps in with tournament golf. Like
What
there's
what
nothing to prepare you more for tournament golf other than playing them.
and I agree with that, right? It's like kind of like in football practice. I make try to make it extremely hard for the kids because when they get out there in the field for gameplay, they're like, man, this is nothing tougher than what I've been through, right? And then of course, it's like, hey, again, do it again, one more time. I'm the king of one more time. Like I'm like this, hey, one more time. Like as a kid, I'm like, hey, when Coach Slaughter says one more time, that means 4 or 5 more times right there. And if you could tell us right there, maybe was one of the most pressure packed shots or moments that you've had in that young junior career right there?
Oh, yeah, I definitely have one. It would be for me. It would be so right after we had the Dallas tournament, then we went to Colorado, and then from there I played at AJGA in Houston at the Woodlands tournament course, the Patrick Reed Invitational, which is actually a pretty cool tournament, 3-day event at the Woodlands. Patrick Reed is there every single day. He's actually like there's multiple times where he's like out there in a golf cart, like watching kids play, which I think is pretty cool to see from somebody like that. Because I
P.
guess
Reed, yeah, P. Reed.
Reed, because I guess most people's perception of him is that he's an ass, right?
Well,
So
and that might be true though. That might be true, but he might be a cool ass, right? Or
yeah,
a cool jerk,
exactly right. But at least during that time period, and obviously I interacted with him at that tournament. I mean, he seems like a pretty cool guy, and most of the people, at least locally in Houston, agree with that. But I'd say, at least for me, so I came back from Colorado to play that event, and I'm actually there. My parents aren't there because my dad had taken, I mean, almost 2 weeks off of work to take me to Dallas and then Colorado right after that, and then come back, and he's like, you know what, I got to go work. You go off, with your golf coach, and you guys go play this tournament. I can, I gotta go, I gotta work, right? So we're over there in Houston, and I play well the first 2 rounds. I think I shoot like one over and then a couple under on the second day. So I'm in contention. I'm like in second place, third place for the event. The course is playing pretty tough. It's kind of windy. Greens were firm and fast, and
Do you like him
I
like that?
I mean, I usually like harder golf courses just because it doesn't allow other people to score as much. So if you use your brain a little bit more and you think a little bit smarter, you can usually outsmart people and survive on top, kind of like a U.S. Open. But at least on that final day of that AJGA, I was in second place, and honestly, I didn't look at the leaderboard all day until about 16 or 17, just to kind of see where I was at. But it started getting apparent that I was playing well because right about hole 13, I was probably one or two under par. And then right when I make the turn to 14 on the tee box, and I have a picture somewhere on my phone, but there's quite literally 15 college coaches standing right behind me on the tee box, and then followed me all the way into the rest of the round. So I was like, I think something's up here with the leaderboard, because where did all these guys come from? So I think, at least for the most pressure packed situation, probably be the tee shot on 18. I think I had a 2-shot lead, and it was into the wind off the right. It's this tight dog leg. Well, not tight. It's like a slight dog leg right, but it's tight. Trees on the left, water on the right, and it's like 460 yards, 440 yards straight into the wind. So I'd probably say that tee shot and that second shot were probably the most pressure packed situations I felt in my life. One, because is during that pivotal recruiting time. Two, there's 15 coaches watching me. And three, I mean, that tournament, which I ended up winning, was the biggest junior golf event that I ended up winning. And it was the closest, or at least the best that I've ever felt in my game. And if I hadn't finished that, it would have just been added to, the long list of second places and third places that I had in my career. So being able to, finally break through and win that tournament was a big relief.
So in a sense, and like I said, I've spoke to several people and they said, well, that's how you do it. That's how you get put on the map. You win a big tournament in front of a lot of college coaches and in front of Patrick Reed's event, because I know you had mentioned it to me, and I'm not going to lie, like, I don't know a lot about the junior golf scene. I only know so much, right? But then when I ask other people about you and they're like, oh, yeah, I know Pawly. You know what? They're like, I know him. It's like, man, he won a big event as a junior. And they said that's really kind of what puts you on the map, because I think the thing is and then you have a guy like, let's say, Ty Roberts. You have a guy like Ty Roberts who's famous for winning over 150 junior tournaments. Like, let's say, why does he get recruited? Only the best deal he got was to Alabama State.
So at least for him specifically, the junior events that he won were mainly STPGA events, which are great tournaments, and I grew up playing them since I was 5 all the way up until 16. But at least from what I've seen in America, college coaches college coaches don't watch high school golf in general unless it's a major high school state championship, like a California state championship, a Florida state championship, or a Texas state championship.
Texas at the high level, right? Like 5A, 6A,
Yeah.
right?
5A, 6A. Other than that, college coaches don't pay attention to any high school golf. They could really care less about your high school golf results. And honestly, at least from what I've seen in the local area for Texas, they pay attention to the Legends Junior Tour, and they pay attention to the AJGA, which is a national tour. But and I'm sure college coaches watch, like, they think they have the Toyota Tour in California, and they have some Florida tours as well. So those big central areas, they'll focus a little bit more on the local tours. But other than that, they're just looking at national golf tournaments, at least for the Division I scale, right? Which is the scale that I was in. Obviously, for other divisions and schools, I'm not 100% sure how their recruiting outsources, but at least from my knowledge, that's the only way that I ended up getting seen by college coaches was through that. So in regards to Ty, like, that's probably the main reason why he didn't, is because he just didn't outsource enough nationally.
See, and I think the thing is too, right? And I'm hoping we'll get to it, because I want you to be able to tell it. I know you told me when we spoke, right, and we had the privilege of playing. I just think, like, what went into it, all right? So you for people that don't know, you were homeschooled, and did, let's say homeschool people are normal, hey, golf prodigies, gymnasts, individual, tennis players, people who have like individual, who play individual sports. Now, you're coming from homeschooled, and like you said, like, you're probably perfect proof. Not playing high school golf, it didn't hurt you. It didn't hurt you playing high school golf because, and so as you're getting recruited, what are some of the things that Matthew's looking for that you said you had to get, and kind of take us there, like, what in regards to your situation where you're, your home situation, or the background as to why you're looking for such a great deal or such a big program.
So I guess for me, my main motivation was since I grew up with um, my dad as my mentor and my college or my golf coach as my mentor. At the time, at least when I was younger, um, my golf coach Brad Martin was the head coach at Incarnate Word for about 7 years, and he ran that whole facility that they had at Republic. And he was both women's and men's golf coach, director of golf.
That was a
And
badass facility. That was a
I know
badass facility.
it's such a shame that it's just like I don't even know what it is now. It's something, but it's got to be tough to be like a UIW player and have all that, and then like let's say they recruited some kid next year for the freshman, and they're like, man, I'm gonna have all these facilities, and then it just gets closed down the next year. That's got to be like the most
I
ever.
know, man. It was badass because right there on the practice putting green, they had the whole Incarnate Word Cardinal right there, and the little institute or whatever of golf.
Yeah,
And
like I don't know how many people know this, but like on the inside, they had full like this is a you know 150 to 200 ranked Division 1 golf team. They had a full club repair, 3 indoor hitting bays, indoor putting greens. Like they had a top 50 Division 1, at least indoor facility at their disposal for that level of school. So at least how that correlates back to me is I spent a lot of time with the UIW golf team as a little kid, with obviously my coach, and I was already practicing at Republic. My coach was the head coach there. My dad was actually volunteer assistant for that program for about I think a year or two. So I was always around that environment, and at least my motivation was, at least when I was younger, if I can beat these people here, then I should be able to, progress a little bit up further. And then I guess in terms of my deal, in searching for, a good deal for college golf is both of my parents didn't graduate or didn't go to college. My dad went to college partly, and then had 3 kids at 19 and dropped out of college. So I mean, for them specifically, their goal was for me to get into a college that I could play for the team, and as well as be able to get a good offer. So because I don't think people understand how much elite, at least during those pivotal years during recruiting, playing how much money elite junior golf actually cost. And I think they also don't realize is like if you're looking at like the top 30 juniors in junior golf right now, almost every single one of them are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars every single year playing junior golf, traveling to here, getting clubs here, getting lessons here, paying for golf memberships here, right? So a lot of it for me was being able to say to myself, my parents have invested this much in me, so I need to be able to work hard enough to go to a program where I don't have to, expend more of their money to go there and get myself a good offer.
and I hear that, right? You know it, and you come from a blue collar family, right? You come from a blue collar family, and I remember you telling me what big time college programs were seriously pursuing you, recruiting you hard.
So, and this is, I mean, I can credit this to, 85% of my dad. My dad took the time to do all this research before recruiting started. And, he set up a social media page. He set up a YouTube for me. He set up, he even had me and I have it somewhere on my phone, but I actually made a PowerPoint slide for every single school that I wanted to go to. And it was about 80 different schools. So, I mean, I talked to
80
initially,
different schools. You wanted to go to 80 different schools.
so 80 different interests, at least, right? Because the way college golf recruiting goes, you can't for most kids, unless you're a top 10 prodigy, you don't really get to like decide where you want to go. You can't just be like, I want to go here and I'm going to go here, right? Like they have to pick you. So being able to outspread your options and be okay with a bunch of different stuff is probably I feel like it's a recruiting factor that a lot of kids miss, and it's one of the reasons why most kids don't end up going to play at schools that they could have loved, or play at schools that are better than where they're at now, is because, at least from what I've seen, maybe in the American junior golf circuit, a lot of parents or kids get very fixated on a few schools, especially like for families that love watching college football, or their parents went to a certain university, so their parents want them to go there as well. So they're like, my dad went to A&M, so I have to go to A&M, right? And if I don't go to A&M, then all's out the table, right? So since my parents didn't go to university here, and neither of them graduated for anywhere, they were just like, listen, go wherever you like, that gives you a great offer and you love it and it's competitive. And so he helped me make a big spreadsheet. We have a big spreadsheet, big PowerPoint slides. And at least when recruiting started in June, I'd probably say through the first, I'd say through that first month, because I won that AJGA in Houston probably later June. Through the first few days, I probably talked to about 30 coaches, and then after I won the AJGA, it probably increased to a total of about 70 coaches. And then I'd say if you go and look at the top ranked college golf programs right now in the top 100, I probably talked to about 70, 75 of them.
Oh, okay. So 75 out of 100 college coaches you're like having contact with, and obviously like, it's like, hey, it's kind of like it's a numbers game, right? Is it more of a quantity over quality, or just trying to get your name out there and just kind of
That's mainly what my dad helped me do in the beginning, is just get my name out there and outsource to everyone, and then play the numbers game and see what happens from there. Because it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to see what different opportunities can present themselves if you go out and you do the research and you look at these programs. Like most kids, when they do recruiting, they don't even know. They're like, oh, this program over here is like has this, this, and this, and I love this, this, and this, but they wouldn't even know about it because they didn't do any research. And then recruiting times comes and they're like, oh well, I like these three schools, and then these three schools don't like them, and then they just end up settling for whatever, right? So it was more about, one, getting my name out to a bunch of different options, and two, just being able to at least explore these options in detail to make sure that the program that I chose was the one that I really wanted to go to, not just because of lackluster evidence and laziness.
Did your coach have any say or any hookups, or was he working the phone lines or what, or did
Nothing.
nothing?
So
Like
nothing.
that doesn't piss you off, or like, I mean, or is that just is that just coaches in general or instructors?
Oh, are you talking about my college coach or my swing coach?
Your swing coach.
Oh, so well, I mean, my swing coach, obviously he worked at a lower level, Division 1 level, so he knows a few programs from around that area, but obviously he didn't really have any connections to like upper level programs in that sense, so it wasn't really his task per se, um, to work on it. I mean, he was supportive to whatever I picked. He just wanted me to be in the right environment. So I
So
was happy about that, because a lot of kids, I don't think most kids have, you know, total or at least feel like they have total and complete freedom to go to wherever they want to go. I feel like most kids are either pressured into going to a certain school because their parents went there, or their parents want them to go there, instead of them going like, I like here and I want to go here.
what were your best options? I remember you told me there was about four big D1 programs that were on your radar, or vice versa.
So at least the ones that I was looking into seriously was U of H, University of Arizona, um, Michigan State, OU, and UTSA. Those were like the ones that I was most interested in, and partly because of that is they were also some of the most interested ones as well. And I think a big thing that a lot of people have to understand is, even if you talk to 70 college coaches, only about 5 or 6 of them are going to be serious to the point that they want to, fully work with whatever you have to offer. And I feel like that's probably a big reason why I didn't get more offers from bigger schools, is because I had to tell them like straight up, like, I come from a blue collar family, and a lot of these, universities, especially if they're out of state, they're $50,000, $60,000 a year, and even if you're a top player in the country, they can only give out so much money for their golf program. Um, even like if I was a top player in Texas and OU recruited me, which they ended up doing, they literally straight up told me like the best we can give you is 50%, and at the end of the year, like I don't have $30,000 a year to go and play for this program. But most kids within that top 50 ranking are, they're already spending hundreds of $1,000s a year in junior golf. If they want to go to OU, their parents are just like, okay, we'll pick up the other half, right?
Go, right? Go. And hey,
You want to go, and we got you.
hey, here's my son. A scholarship athlete, right? I got a great question right here. Thank you so much, my brother Paul Sharp, for chiming in. What is the best conference in college golf?
Ooh, I mean, honestly,
You have to, Paul. He has this. He has to say the conference he's in. I mean,
I mean it's even if I'm being unbiased, like the Big 12 versus the SEC both have, like, both conferences have programs that are filling up the top 20, top 25. I mean, how many are in the SEC? Like 7 or 8, and then you have the Big 12, so it's about 20. Like they almost most of them fill up that top area. So I'd say it's pretty close. Um, because obviously we have some really good teams that just got onto the Big 12 within the last few years. Teams like Arizona, teams like Arizona State.
and then you have good teams that left the Big 12 that are top teams in that are,
SEC.
that oh yeah,
Yeah,
OU,
it's
Texas.
very fluid. It always kind of bounces it around, but I'd probably say between the Big 12 and SEC is going to be as competitive as it gets.
Okay, so back to college right here. So those are four big universities right there, and obviously the money had to be right. Right here. Look, check this out. Paul Sharp right here. Plain University Club Saturday at LSU.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I've actually been there. I've gone and visited that course. So, yep.
His
Talked
his
to well. So,
his daughter's a Golden Girl there at LSU.
okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Hey, God bless you, Paul. God bless you. That daughter's beautiful. Great. I mean, hey, she is. We talk about it because he's got a daughter. I mean, she's a Golden Girl there at LSU. There's only like 12 of them, right? I mean, and they have to. And he told me they have to try out. They have to audition every year or try out every year. Just she's. I think she's going into their sophomore year. They have to try out every year just to to continually make the team. And I'm like, I like that, like cutthroat, baby. Like, hey, iron sharpens iron, right? And so we talk about that. I got two daughters. I'm dealing with some of the same stuff that he deals with on the regular, right? And because I got some beautiful girls, and so back to this as he's got his child at LSU. His son is a junior golfer like that works that they're out of River Crossing, and so they're heavily involved and interested in the golf game. And so we talk about that. We know the big programs that were after you. How many other Division I schools that are, I guess, maybe in a mid level, and maybe that like the smaller D1 schools were after you or thought they had a shot of you or threw you a bone?
I'd say in terms of mid level, almost every single one of them. Probably if I had expressed similar interest, for me, I was trying to, if I could, go to a top 40 program. But I'd say probably, from 50 after ranked, I probably, if I expressed more interest back, it probably would have been closer to a full ride. Because obviously, um, at least for junior golfers, like spots are pretty limited. So for example, if a 120 ranked school can get a top 50 recruit, that's a major steal for them, right? So somebody like
Oh
a
hell
UT
yeah!
or whatever is like, because they usually never get those kids, right? So they usually have to, go international, or look farther down the rankings to look for recruits. Um, so I'd say at least in terms of the mid range, probably all of them.
So right here, what I mean, because I'm curious, right? Like, what is it that's so appealing? Like, I guess what is it that it's because what's the end game for you, like professionally? What is the end goal, or what is and why was it the school that you think maybe could help you get to that end goal?
Well, at least for me, the end goal is always, I mean, ever since I was four, it was always to be a professional golfer, right? Like I grew up around college golfers. My swing coach, Brad, used to be an ex-pro golfer. I grew up watching the Masters and all that stuff on TV. And, I've always been, I've always been a big like golf course person, which we'll get into later, but like always seeing those cool courses on TV and places like Augusta and all these other places. I've always wanted to go there and play these events. And so at least for me, it's always been professional golf. Um, and at least in my opinion, I thought that U of H, which I think is a seriously underrepresented and underrated college golf program right now in terms of the resources that we have, in terms of our practice facilities, the courses that we practice at, our coaching staff, and just the team environment in general. I feel like our coach Jonathan Dismuke, as well as our assistant coach Cameron Peck, they're both fairly like not discreet, but they're not very flashy people, which a lot of other college coaches can be. They're like, look, we just got this, and we just got this, and we just got this, and we're gonna make 25 social media posts about it, and that helps a lot for recruiting, and bringing interest to their program. But at least in terms of Coach Diz's philosophy for recruiting, he's always been a play more of looking at it from the side of I don't like being flashy. I don't like doing bidding wars with other college golf coaches about I'm going to give this kid this much money to come here, and you're going to give this kid this much money, and we're going to have a battle about it. He's always been like, I'm going to reach out to these kids, and they're going to come here, and they're going to look around at our program, and if they like it, then they can reach out, and if they want to come here, then they'll come here. But he's never been a big person of like showcasing what we have to offer as a program and as a team. So I feel like for me, it was a big shock because when I first came to campus and I came on a visit to come tour the school, like all the things that we have, I just didn't know because it wasn't promoted. So I got here and I'm like, and he's like, well, we have this and we have this and we have this, and I'm just like, if all this stuff was promoted to the same amount or the same level as all these other top college golf programs, then 80% of the normal golf community would know way more about the program, just because of all the cool stuff that we have. And believe it or not, I mean, we have the most amount of NCAA championship wins for D1 golf and out of every other program by far. We have 17.
So where is your, you know what, I know where it's at, but tell everybody, where is y'all's practice facility at, and where do you get to go every day to work on your golf game?
So our practice facility is at the Golf Club of Houston, which used to be Redstone Country Club back when they used to hold the Shell Houston Open. I don't know how long they held that PGA Tour event there. They held it there for forever. So we have it, which is in Humble, which is like the northeast side of Houston. Um, and now it's had countless professional events. Liv was out there, I think, a year and a half ago. So
People were
constantly,
passing out left and right out there.
yeah.
They were passing out left and right, dude. It was so freaking hot out there.
Oh yeah, but I mean, we have that. It's 36 hole facility, so we have a member course and a tournament course, and I cover all this a little bit more in detail on my Instagram. But we have our building, double sided range. I think we have one, two, three, four chipping greens, a par three course, two putting greens, I mean, indoor putting lab, you know, access to, TrackMan, GC Quad, all these, all the technology and training aids that you could possibly want. And then obviously full access to these courses. And then, in qualifying, we also play some of the best golf courses in Houston. And on top of that, we don't promote this either, but we have one of the best. I'd probably say it's a top 5 college golf schedule in the country, and for a program that's closer ranked to, it's sitting around 50 now. To have a top 5 schedule is insane. I mean, we host the Valspar Intercollegiate, which is the #1 strongest college golf event that there is, and we also head over to the Cabo Collegiate. We just played a tournament in UNC. We just played Augusta State's tournament. We have Big 12 Conference, which is coming up next week, where you get to play against all those other schools at Prairie Dunes.
Hey, 2027 is going to be at the Covey.
Yes, listen, I heard that. I'm excited for that one because, I love that course.
Oh shoot, yeah. Okay, so we have this. What's going on right now in regards to your status at D1 as a D1 golfer?
So I actually, as of late, I think maybe a month and a half ago, I sat down and I talked to both our assistant and our head coach. And coming into the fall, I was already not playing too well, but it was still okay. Like in the summer, I had won the San Antonio Junior, so I played okay during that. And then I just feel like coming into the fall season, I didn't have a whole lot of confidence within my game, and then qualifying came around and I didn't play great. And
Is it cutthroat? Is it cutthroat during qualifying? And kind of take us through take us through that.
So I guess at least the way our qualifying works is we have 7 qualifying rounds, 6 to 7 qualifying rounds per. And we have 2 or 3 of those per season. So you have, basically 2 or 3 in the fall, 2 or 3 in the spring. And that's basically how you're judged and, measured to, go out there and travel. And at least currently we have about 12 people on the team, I think. And at least for my first freshman qualifying, I think to make 5th man was, for 7 rounds, was 8 or 9 under. So 8 or 9 under for 5th man, and then the guy who won qualifying, Grant Doggett, I think he shot 31 under. And this is playing on 7,500 yards, PGA Tour level golf course for 7 rounds. So at least for me coming into that, it was a little bit of a shock, because I was like, oh shoot, these guys are really really putting in these rounds out here on this difficulty of course. And I'd be shooting my 5 over rounds thinking I played okay. They'd walk in and be like, oh, I shot 5 under today and I missed a bunch of putts. I'm like, great. So it's a little bit of an expectation jolt, I think, for me in the fall. And I feel like that was probably the hardest part that I've just now finally got out of, is in the mindset of, you get there and you expect to play well, and and you get in there and you don't maybe play as well as you think you should have, so you're already a little bit down about that. And then on top of that, everyone's playing great, which is awesome for the competitive environment, but at least for me in that time period, it was just like, man, I'm so far behind in this space. So it was kind of tough for that fall season. So I sat down at the beginning of the spring and I talked to our coaches and I said, listen, I'm going through this stuff with working on my game, and I know I can play some individual tournaments this spring. And I just straight up asked him, do you think it's more beneficial for me to redshirt this year and save my full year of eligibility so I can start this fall with a fresh 4 years, or do you think I should, play these few individual tournaments? And they just told me straight up that they think it'd be a better idea for me to just redshirt and, continue working on my game so I can be ready in the fall to compete and travel for our program. And I feel like that conversation was a big confidence boost for me because it's tough to obviously it's not like I had a massive ego going into the program, but it's tough to win large junior golf tournaments and consistently play well and shoot under par, and then get into college golf and just get absolutely, at least in the beginning, get absolutely destroyed. It's hard to find your sense of confidence after that. So I feel like that conversation was a big part of it, and then yeah.
I okay, so and again, nothing's OB right here, and I know we're having a hard discussion right now. Are you fearful like to retain your scholarship? And again, I'm not trying to understand. I'm not trying to talk shit here. I'm curious, because we're living in the day of NIL, to where it's dog eat dog, man.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's probably it's probably been the biggest thing on my mind over the last 3 months ever since that started happening. Um, and I think the most important part for me is I had a lot of time dwelling over that and worrying about it. And I feel like one of the most important things that my parents told me and some of my closest friends told me was, especially coming from my roommate who's a senior here, Kevin On, is just reassuring me that you were recruited here for a reason, and you're on this team for a reason, and you wouldn't be here if the coach didn't think that you'd be able to play and compete for this program. So you need to be able to, you know, look within yourself. Tell yourself like, hey, I'm 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 a part of this program for a reason, and I got here with my talent, and you need to be able to embrace that and not lose self confidence within yourself. So that was probably the biggest thing that I had to embrace over the last 2 months, and I'd say that within itself has just helped me, one, just be a better person in general. I feel like I'm a completely different person um, over the last 2 months than I have ever been in my life. And I just feel like since golf was just such a big factor in my life, everything around competitive golf and winning and being the best was always kind of been my central focus. So I feel like having that type of season and, that type of performance really helps. I guess honestly, the only way I could say this just humble me and just be able to have perspective and be grateful for where I'm at, and just that experience within itself, and then talking to my roommates and my parents and family. I mean, it's believe it or not, me playing terrible golf for 3 months has brought me closer to God than I've ever been in my entire life, just from that.
It,
Because
it, it'll happen. It'll happen. Trust me. And I appreciate you. I appreciate your honesty, because I know it sounds tough. It is tough, and I guess like you're in a sense you'd be playing. You're playing for your job. You are. And watching Full Swing and watching Nikolai talk to Rory out there. Full Swing. I think it was 2 the second season. And what Rory assured him and said, "Hey, like you're here because Luke Donald and the captain see something in you. You know what? Rest assured, you deserve to be here. You know what?
yeah,
And now it's just let's play golf, right? Like, and so it's just
100%.
like, and I hear that, and I love that, because the coach, hey man, they took a chance on you, and I love that's a senior for you. That's a good senior leadership right there, reassuring you and telling you what you need to hear at that moment right there. And man, I appreciate your honesty, brother. Let's get into some fun stuff right here. Okay, let's get into some fun stuff. As we played out at Fair Oaks, you told me one of the things you love to do with your status as a golfer, your status as a competitive golfer, and a Division One golfer. You love to play at badass tracks. You know it, and what is it about playing at some of these hollowed grounds, storied best country clubs, top this, top that? Like, what is it about playing at these badass tracks? Because I know, I'm over here beg, borrowing, and stealing, trying to get my ass in. I'll wash the dishes, I'll wash the carts. Daddy's ready.
Exactly. I'm 100% the same way. I feel like a big part of it is like after Republic closed down, I was playing a whole lot of just like at least in San Antonio golf when I was a teenager, public golf courses just weren't taken any care of, and they're just terrible condition. So I grew up honestly playing on dirt greens and hard pan fairways and weeds everywhere.
It's still like that now, though. I'm just saying, a lot hasn't changed. A lot
I
hasn't
know,
changed. Some, I mean,
and
don't get me wrong. Some are getting better. Some are, but a lot hasn't changed.
at least for me, it was seeing that, and then occasionally I would end up going to a tournament where it would be at a nice course, and I'd just be like, man, it's way better than Mission Del Lago's greens.
Hey, hey, don't talk about. They can stretch out Mission. They can stretch out that place. And they got a badass grill. They got a badass grill out there, Rockin' G Grill. Next time you're out there, if you're slumming it out there with us, all right, make sure you check out. It's the OB burrito. It used to be the OB taco, but it was too big. I complained there was too much food served to me, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna give y'all a bad Yelp review. You know what? So they made it the OB burrito because it's got everything in it.
All right, I'm a head down there and try that. Just for,
So go back to these courses, all right? So you're at these nicer courses, and you're kind of on a mission. You're kind of on a mission here in Texas.
yeah, I currently am on a mission. I'm trying to at least knock down the top 50 courses in Texas. There's a little ranking system online, but at least for San Antonio, I've played every single course now in the San Antonio area. That includes Kerrville, you know, west out there to Castroville,
You played Boot
south.
Ranch,
Yep.
dude. You freaking jerk, bro. Like, gosh,
And the funniest part is like all of these are just like super like off one chance like backdoor scenarios. Like for example, and I guess this is kind of part of what happens when you play golf all the time and you're on the course all the time, you're playing junior golf all the time. You meet a lot of people. So like for example at Boot Ranch, like the reason I got out there is I played a tournament, and a friend of my friend, uh,
a friend of a friend. The best
friend
stories
of
always
a friend
happen
of a
with.
friend, and I ended up playing a practice round with him, and then I asked him questions about him, and he told me he worked as a cart kid out there, and that's how I ended up getting on, is just through him inviting me to go play since he worked there. And then for example, like Briggs, uh, a friend of my grandpa was playing out at Fair Oaks, and then his friend's friend was a member or is a member at Briggs. So then I got invited to play out through that, right? So I'm not like high flying around here with his people. I'm just getting calls. I'm just like, hey,
But
this
but
guy
but you
from this
take
guy.
but you take the calls, right? Like you take them
Oh yeah,
all, right? Like,
I,
hey,
I take them and I hold on as tight as I. The
that's
funniest
it.
one was Cordillera Ranch. It was my friend's dad's co-worker's uncle.
Hey, bro. Okay, it's like So now you're speaking my language, bro. Like now you're feeling like, hey, maybe you did grow up a little, a little West Sider. Say, because it's my tios, novias, kids, stepsons, roommate. Like, hey, like now you're coming, you're bringing it back. I'm feeling you now. Now I'm feeling it.
Yeah, because it was either okay, I go back out to Northern Hills, or I was constantly on a mission to find somewhere else to play all the time. So that's kind of what I've done, and at least from that, played almost every course in the San Antonio area. I'm chipping down Houston now, and starting to chip down Dallas. For example, I got some cool courses I'm playing this summer that I hope on promoting. I'm going to play Summer Rock at Horseshoe Bay, which is their private course.
Oh yeah, the members only.
Should be playing Spanish Oaks.
Oh, and Austin.
Be playing Austin Golf Club. I don't know how many people know about that course, but that's one of those. If you know, you know. And this is always mistaken for Austin Country Club, but it's definitely not Austin Country Club.
Austin
It's
Golf Club.
yeah. So it's like a super private, like no tee time, like only play with a member. It's I think it's owned by Ben Crenshaw, so it's like
Crenshaw.
basically his little private golf course. And I just got access to go out there. Um, it's coming up this summer, and then I go to Trinity Forest in a few weeks up in Dallas, where they used to have Byron Nelson. So I'm chipping away as I can. And honestly, I guess for the question, because I've gotten this over the last couple weeks in general, how to get out on the nicer golf courses, and it's honestly just find who works there and ask.
See, that's what I'm saying, right? So
And I think people are too scared to ask. Like in general, I
I
think
ain't too
if
scared. I'm not too scared.
you ain't too scared, but I feel like most people they're like, man, I wish I could play there. But for all they know, if they just emailed, the head pro, and sent them a nice email and asked, like they probably could have been out
Well,
multiple
okay,
times.
okay, but okay, and this is the thing too. It comes with the throne. It comes with the crown. It comes with the territory. As a Division 1 golfer at a major university, playing in a major conference, having like status at because they do. The courses have to pay for your junior membership throughout the year. At Golf Club of Houston, they do it here for TPC San Antonio for UTSA, right?
Yep,
In a sense, a lot of times, and depending who your coaches are, they can make a call for you too.
correct. Yes, that is a thing that I heard can be done. Haven't used it yet, but I do know that is a thing. Probably save that for the one-off special occasion.
Right?
I will say he already kind of has gotten me a connection through getting me some work to do over the summer. I'm gonna be not like full time, but I'm gonna be here mostly in Houston over the summer since I'm from San Antonio. I can always come back, every couple weeks to San Antonio and spend some time with my family. But they, at least from what I know, they offered me a job to go and caddy up at Blue Jack National. So I'll go take that, and then at least from there, they said they run about 300 a loop, 300 400 a loop, and you can do that I guess as many times as you want. It's a contract job, and then supposedly caddies can go play once a week. So I said I will take that. Thank you very much.
Just let you know, the screen's not frozen. I'm just in shock. That's it. That's it. I'm not. I'm just in shock. So like that. Like that's the shit we want to hear right there. Like that. That's like I'm never too proud. Like I can humble myself, and plus, but you know what? You ain't gonna dangle that carrot over my ass either. Like because I have played on some of the nicest courses in town because I know some supers, right? And they have their little girls club, and they have their little secret society of superintendents, right? And
You told me
greenskeepers.
about that. I
Yeah,
didn't know that was.
hey, it's a thing. It's real. It's real. It's out there, bro. Okay, but you know what? At the same time, I ain't gonna. You know what? I'll do some sketchy stuff, to get on golf courses, right? But you know what? Like I won't do things for a Klondike bar, but I'll do some sketchy ass shit for some golf, right? And but at the same time, I know several people that can get on in any course here in town, right? And but I don't play that game to where I don't put it above, like, I guess my standards or my friendship, right? And like if I truly rock with somebody, like I rock with you, I was like, I ain't gonna kiss nobody's ass because you can get me on Cordillera Oak Hills, but hold on, it's like, what does your ass look like? Okay, now I'll kiss it. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
so it's just like I want to get on it, and I want to get on it like kind of like my way, like I earned it by doing a
100%.
yeah,
I
like
hate doing it the other way. I mean, I've almost gotten to a point where if somebody invites me out to a nice golf course and it's just me and them, like unless they're one of my closer friends, I don't even want to go. Like unless I'm taking one of my friends or my homies with me, like
yeah, right. See, and it's that much more fun, right? Like
because I hate like getting an invite and then them hearing about it later, and I'm just like.
well,
Like if I'm going with who I want to go with.
we say we say it with my four bros, tight invite. You know, like when you we don't get invited, we're like, hey, tight invite, right? And so four bros tour, never golf alone again. My boys played at La Cantera today, and the last time I played, bro, with my four bros, I lost $163. Hey,
It'll be fun.
hey, that's why are we eating bologna all week, babe? You know, hey, now you know why. Why are the kids? Why?
I'll get it back next week.
That's exactly what I said. I
That's
was
the
like, hey,
gambler's
I was
mentality
like,
right there.
I keep receipts, baby. I was like, but you know what? I took 180 off one guy, my boy Rudy, and he kept bringing it up that round, bro. I didn't shoot bad at Breck. I shot 78, but he shot a 71, and he was putting for birdie or eagle every hole. Like, so you know when somebody, like when you're down, you're having to be a little more aggressive, right? You're having to be a little more aggressive, and you have to, and so I'm having to putt way more aggressive than I like to. But you know what? We're down. I'm feeling the pressure. The dude's got like tap in birdies, and man, I think we lost exactly 49 dots, which are and we do $2 dots, $2 everything. I lost $49 or 49 dots, so that was $98. I only had one skin off of somebody's three putt. I didn't have one skin out of the group, so I had to pay everybody. And then I did a side bet of 10, 10, 10. I lost front back total. Like I normally one of my boys, I beat him in 5-5-5, and he goes, "Oh, we're good, right?" And I'm like this, "Nah, bro. Like I'm gonna need that $15 today. Like I'm gonna need it. I'm gonna need it. I'm gonna need it bad."
This is for the next bologna sandwich, right? Hey,
Man, dude.
here's an interesting question for you. Would you rather play your favorite course by yourself or play with your four closest friends at Muni?
Okay, so I'm glad you asked that, and I like it when people ask me because I'm always the one asking the questions, right? I've had so many people on the show, and I've had Matt Janella, formerly of the Golf Channel, who lives out there, and his home course is Goat Hill Park, and he said it this time. He'd been played Augusta, he played everywhere. He said it's never about the journey. It's about, or it's never about the destination. It's about the journey and the people you're with. Like that's one thing. And so as soon as he said that to me, I looked at kind of the courses a little differently, right? Because I do golf course renovations, reopenings, remodeling. I do that with some Texas media members, and I'm thankful for it. Well, my buddy Art Strickland is always one that gets me these gigs. And do I like it? Yeah, I like it, and because Art's my friend and we're good friends, so I enjoy his company. But if I play with some other writers that I'm not too familiar with, I mean, it does kind of dampen it, right? Dampen the excitement, right? I got to take my buddy Mike Osman or Bestie to Horseshoe Bay with me, and they wined and dined us. They treated us well. We played Apple, we played Ram, we played Slick, and one day he didn't go because he was tired, and I'm like, like, bro, like shit, like we're in Horseshoe Bay, like on their dime, Matt, on their dime, So I think it's all about it's all about who you're with, because life is short, and I like to, we talk about this. I like to have fun. I like to enjoy myself. That's how I like to golf, and even when I'm competing, I want to enjoy myself while I'm competing. I mean, because I'm an older man, and so it's all amateur competing, and yours is obviously, your type of competition is different than my type of competitive events. You know what? So I like to smoke a cigar, like to have a couple of transfusions, and I like to enjoy. I like to listen to some good music and like to enjoy myself. Like that's the type of golf I like to play, even if it's competitive. If there's no music, if we're just quiet, and you know what, you're just mad or grudge match the whole time, that's not the way I like to play, and that's not like the way I like to win. I want to win a certain way because life is short, and you know what, you're seeing all these badass courses, and I love these badass courses, and I want to make sure I take it in because I think the first part of the podcast, since 2018 to about, COVID, it was all about, let me get on here, let me get there, free merch, free stuff. No, now it's a little bit about, it's about the journey and enjoying it. I take less pictures when I'm out on the course. I'm trying to think less, I guess, content because I want to enjoy it. Just kind of like when I come home, I want to see my girls, I want to see my kids. So when I go to dinner, I want to. We have a no phone policy. Like, hey, phones are off because I want to enjoy it because you know what, you never know. You never know right here. Great
Yeah.
question, bro. Thank you for bringing it up, brother. I got some comments right here. I think you know this guy, Jake Stevenson Golf. Hi,
Yeah.
Matt.
What's up, Jake? Dude, I gotta when I come back in town, I'm gonna come hang out with this guy. He's always busy giving lessons though, so
He's always
yeah.
busy. He's always busy with the stemp meet with the stemp
He's
meter.
always perfect putter at Cedar Creek, making
Look,
confrontational Instagram reels to get people riled up.
confrontational putting takes, right? About pace and speed as opposed
Yeah,
to line, right?
hey,
Um,
I get him away from doing those for a day so he can go play some golf.
hey, I want to be there. I got to be in that group. I got to be in that group because I've
I'll,
never played with him. Great guy. Whenever I've seen him out, always real nice dude right here. Right here. Look, Jackson. If you play, can I come? JK. I play a good third wheel and fifth wheel. I play like if you can't tell, like man, like I like to talk. My boys in my group are like Andy. Hey, your limit one story per 6 holes. So I can't talk a lot. I just now.
yeah,
How about
it's
now? How about
dude,
now?
it's tough. It's tough with these courses, man. Like if I had it my way, I would make 3 tee times with all my friends, and it just that's how it would work. But most of the time, it's like it's enough of a struggle just having you out here, much as somebody else. And I just feel like all right. Like I don't know if that's the best way to grow the game of golf, but cool.
The struggle is real, right? The struggle is real. Right here, I got Alamo Golf Den. Great stuff. Keep up the good work. Keep up the good work right there, man. Hey, got another guy in your corner right there. I'm looking forward to doing some stuff with Alamo Golf Den. I'm really intrigued right here. Okay, so also right here, what are your thoughts on content creators? Who's your favorite one out there that does it for you, and that's somebody that you followed and that you will stop to like really like give it a good look, a good subscribe, and to where you know what, hey, you'll tell somebody else about them.
Ooh, that's a good question. I would say I would say since I'm a little bit more on the golf nerd side, I'd say at least for me, TPI is always a good follow. They have a lot of golf instructional content. They also work with like PGA Tour players on whatever they're working on, and they're usually like an hour and a half long. So you get to watch an hour and a half interaction with how PGA Tour players are, and they also do a whole bunch of physical stuff, which I feel like is really important for a lot of golfers, especially ones that are trying to get better and learn how they can swing the club best, especially like middle aged or older age golfers. They have a whole lot of mobility and explanations on how the golf swing works physically. So since I'm a golf nerd, I'd probably say I watch that a lot, and I also probably, let's see if I had to guess.
Like, who do you enjoy? Okay,
Yeah, a
so
lot of it's golf instruction.
so that's golf instruction. TPI, you like golf instruction. Who is out there that maybe you really enjoy watching them play golf or the content that they have as they play golf? Because this is one thing that we get that I get a lot. Oh, you need to do this, and this, and I said, will I post some stuff occasionally? Yes, and maybe do I need to do more? Yes, but you know what? I'm doing exactly what I want to do in the content game right now. This having you on my show for people to hear your story, to talk your game, your favorites. Like this is the stuff I like. And don't get me wrong, I might not like to watch a lot of that stuff. That I love the Internet Invitational. I love that. I love the Internet Invitational, but I think maybe not the golf play per se. It was kind of all the other stuff around it is what I liked. Now, do I like it when they go and they have to eat a hot dog every birdie or eat a hot dog on every hole and chug a beer? Maybe do I like it? Maybe like the first couple of holes, yeah. But you know what? I know it's gonna happen on hole 18. Like I'm not dumb. I've played that game before. I've lived that
Yeah.
game. So
Yeah, a lot of it for me in terms of content, since I'm a competitive golfer, a lot of it is like it's either watching instructional content or watching like golfers that are better than me. So I'll watch like stuff like Brad Dahlke or the Bryan Bros or Bryson DeChambeau has a YouTube channel now. So anything in terms of high level competitive golf, they have some inside videos with like top level collegiate programs where they talk, to top amateurs. So I usually watch a lot of that content because I'm trying to learn for myself since I'm so golf centered. Uh, but usually like channels like Bryson DeChambeau or the Brian Bros is probably who I like to watch play golf on social
You
media.
you have a strong thought about golf instructors here in San Antonio.
I do. I definitely do have a strong thought about. I mean, and honestly, like I haven't. I don't go everywhere to look at golf instruction. I only base it off of from what I know. But I just feel like in terms of golf instruction in San Antonio, I feel like it's starting to get to a point where not that many people are willing to take the amount of time that's required and effort that's required to know enough knowledge about the golf swing to be able to teach that to naive people that don't know any better. And I feel like it's partly part of the PGA and the PGM's like system that they have of bringing up, club professionals and teaching professionals. And for example, my best friend is currently in the Sam Houston State PGM program, and he tells me everything that they learn in there. And from that degree, you're supposed to go work, work at golf courses and become teaching instructors and all this other stuff. And he's just like, they don't really teach you anything important. And from there, you have the PAT, the player ability test, which requires the person giving the lessons to, I think it's close to like breaking 82 once or twice on, any given occasion. If you do that and, you have enough certification, you're good enough to be an instructor. And I feel like maybe for the golfer that's shooting 100 to 90s, it might be, fine for that person to be giving them instruction but like the whole point is that 90 shooter is trying to get better. But if you can only break 85 consistently and you shot 81, 82 once or twice just to get through your PAT, you're basically an 85 golfer. And there's a whole, I'd probably say 50% of the golf community that's going to get lessons are already shooting around 90 to mid 90s to 90 to high 80s, and they're trying to go get instruction from people that shoot the same scores as them. And the reason I know this is like I've talked to a bunch of people that give instruction in San Antonio golf, and they're asking me for advice with what they need to do. And I'm just like,
and then you've
why
had
are
a
you
lot,
asking me? You're the coach.
and then you've also had a lot of competitive golfers, high level competitive golfers that have received this instruction and they're giving their feedback right as well, right? So you have some inside sources, you do.
Exactly, right? And it's not just it's like it's me talking to these people, it's other people experiencing the same thing. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing overall. All I'm saying is I think that people need to understand that like if you're trying to get better, you can only learn from somebody that's better than you, right?
Uh, yeah. Okay. So say it. Go for it. I don't mean to cut you off. Go for it.
Like and you brought it up an example with one of your friends here, and it's still like a pretty like popping thing on like
He called. He wanted me to call him yesterday.
it's like yeah, it's like I'm saying, it's like it's still like I still get notifications like every other day of something happen about it on social media, and it's just like like maybe let's start with trying to get to a point where you can be able to teach a majority of your player base that you're coaching to improve rather than you know being the same skill level as them or worse.
See, okay, so the same guy, and we know the guy that we're talking about. and I don't want to put his name on here because you know what? Hey, bad publicity is still good publicity, right? And I'm like, this not like I ain't gonna do that for you, right? But I mean, he is a good friend of mine, and I told him straight up. I said, you're not the first guy to try to poach people and not be a licensed or an experienced instructor. And I said, you're not going to be the last one either. I said, my wife was in the health and fitness industry, and she was a personal trainer and she was a fitness manager, and she saw that constantly at the gym, right? So she saw it constantly. And that's because my wife went to freaking the Cooper Institute, she had top certifications, right? So they say everybody's names, and kind of like how they would say, Joe Smith's name, PGA, right? And then same thing, hey, my wife had it Ana Torres, and she had all her certs, all the abbreviations right after her name or under her name, right? She even had a Bachelor of Science Biology, right? So it tells them the credentials, right? And
Right.
and the thing is, like I would say, I joke about it. I say my first golf coach, which is my good buddy Jake, who is the first guest on my show, 224 previous episodes, right? He was episode 1. And I joke about it, but he was really like my first kind of guy, my first buddy to really kind of give me some sort of golf instruction that was outside of my dad, right? And you know what? I mean, he shoots in the hundreds, right? But I joke about it because you know what? It was good for me when I was just a super novice and broke ass college kid, really couldn't afford golf, right? And he took me and he would get me on the mission because he would get me on a mission for free. And so you know what? So you know what? Like we always joke about that, right? We always joke about that, him being my first golf coach. And obviously you don't want to have a golf coach that you can shoot better or play better. You know what? At least, you know what? They have to have somebody that could at least go low or at least know what you're talking about and the feels that you're going through and struggling. Hey, baby. And the feels you have or you're trying to get back, right? And I think it's just, you know what? He called me and he said, "Hey, I have a question for you." And I said, "You want to do it? Like, do it right, man. Do it from within. Like, you want to change the game, change it, but change it from within. Like, you know what? A lot of times when you're out there or to be a high level golfer, we say this a lot of time. It's the game within the game. You got to play. You got to play the game
100%.
within the game.
Yeah, and then, like I said, it'd be different. Like if you showed up to San Pedro one day and you started throwing out lessons, but you're a +8 handicap, and you could prove any point wrong against anybody else. Then it'd be a little bit easier to be like, hey, I'm here, stealing clients, but I'm gonna do them way better than you, right? Guaranteed.
Right here, one of our listeners right here, Curtis Spillman, still
Yes.
thinking of that OB burrito at Mission del Lago. I'm gonna tell you, it's
I
got
have to try it now.
bro.
I mean,
Okay,
I'm
it's what.
convinced.
So what do you like to eat before you're going out for a round of golf? Like, what is your, or do you eat, or do you snack? What's your go-to meal when you're about to maybe not play competitive, but you're gonna have your practice round or whatever?
Honestly, like it's gonna be weird. I usually don't like eating,
And that's
and
okay. I don't either. I don't either. But
the only reason I say that is because at least from when I grew up, like it's so hot in Texas that what would end up happening is I'd get whatever food,
you got
and by
choro.
like
You got choro. It's going right
I'm a, I'm
out.
a I'm a big foodie. Like I've tried a whole bunch of different types of food, and I love trying new food and all this stuff. So like if you give me food before the round, like I'm gonna eat it. And the problem is like I'm gonna eat it, and then I'm gonna get about 6 holes in, and then the sun, and then the
It's baking.
and fatigue in my body is just gonna be like, man, I'm really tired because you're having me, digest these 2 OB burritos, and I'm also
Bro,
to, play 18 holes of golf. Just like, man, you're really stressing me out here. So I've just started to like not eat very much, and then if I have to, when I'm playing competitively, I'll snack on the golf course. But I don't like feeling like full fatigue. So
Okay, so right there, we're getting to a good point. I'm glad it's getting to a good point right here, guys. Just in case you're wondering, guys, we're coming live from the Texas Chancla Studios. Big ups to my guy. He's in Africa right now, playing at some amazing courses in Africa. He just got done playing 36 out there today. Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla. Make sure you hit him up. He's a hack golfer, loves and lives the game. He was my guest out at the Covey a couple months ago, and always a great time, great lawyer, great person. If you need him, please hit him up at 210-807-8656. We're coming live from the Texas Chocolate Studios this whole time right here. All right, back to the show. Okay, so I'm getting ready to play Mission Del Lago. And again, my boy Ray Garza, it's his grill out there. He's one of the best instructors out here for On Par Golf. He says, hey, you know what? And he tells me about his menu, what he's adding to the menu before it opens, right? And I feel like it's kind of like maybe not a homage to me, but maybe in my honor, right? He tells me, hey, this is the OB taco. So it's like I have to have it before I go and play, right? Well, shoot, he gives it. It's one of those. It's in kind of like those little nacho boats, right? And it's one of those tacos that you can't close it. It's that much.
Yeah.
There's there's bacon. We call them in South Texas and Corpus Christi. We call it a trash can taco. Well, it has bacon, egg, cheese, papas, chorizo, beans, cheese. You know what, right? And so I'm like, dude. And then it's a healthy full like. And you know what? I'm trying to eat this whole damn thing. So I'm over here like during the whole round of golf, like just rocking with the big panzón, like, dude, like I'm breathing hard. You would think I'm doing like Lamaze breathing that I learned at Daddy Boot Camp with my wife. You know, I'm over here like, dude, are you okay? I mean, I'm struggling, bro. And again, South Texas heat. I got in swamp ass. You know, things were not looking good. I couldn't wait. I'm like, man, I could pee out in the woods, but can I take a dump out here? No. You know what I mean? I had to wait for the damn little restroom. And tell me, when has the restroom out there on the course at Mission Del Lago ever been in good shape?
It's scary in there.
No, the scariest one is out there in Fort Sam, bro. Do you remember?
Oh my, yeah, dude. Like, you're scared like a drug addict's gonna come around the border and like
Dude,
attack you.
no, but it's that one. It's that one like in 300, bro. Like you look down, it's just a black endless hole. Like that's what it is, right? It's like, hey, what is it? It's like, this is Sparta. Like, man, it's endless, right? Like I'm like, I don't even want to go in there. Like I'm afraid like my phone might drop out or some shit.
I might go in the bushes, you know.
It's safer, right? It's safer. I'll be okay. Oh no, it's just a golfer.
Really,
It's a golfer. He's cool, right? And so I'm glad he changed it to burrito instead of taco because it has to be a burrito. So, okay, so we talk about those pregame things, right? So this is something that I've been struggling. There's two things in regards to my golf game. Well, one had been my fitness, right? Been my fitness, and I kind of felt it in my last rounds. I'm not playing a lot of golf right now. I'm a range rat. I love to go to the range. Golf has been a great mental health for me, right? And because get to hit 100 and something balls, I get to hit driver, I get to work on my craft. I'm a coach. I love to practice. Well, I find myself a lot of times playing more than I'm able to practice because of time and life's winning, right? Well, the last time I played, I start off good. I think I par the first 5 holes, and I have birdie looks on at least 3 of them. Swing's feeling great. We make that turn. Swing's not feeling as good. Not as confident. I'm struggling. I'm hitting maybe 20, 30 yards less on my drive than what I was the first 5 or 6 holes. Putting stroke is different. What are your thoughts, doctor? Tell me.
well, at least kind of from what I'm hearing, it seems like, and this is a pretty common case for most golfers. Is just like once you start playing well on the front, you have to be able to just take that for what it is, and it really is just like forgetting that all that happened and just focusing on the shot that's at hand. Because the problem, and I still have it to this day. And a perfect example is I played a junior golf tournament up in Kerrville at River Hill.
You like that
Probably
course? Do you like the design of that course?
except for hole like 2 and 3. Yeah,
Where two's
yeah. I
got
don't.
that weird like tight one. It goes down really tight, and then you got
Yeah.
to come this way or what?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a dog leg right par 5, but you have to like lay up so you don't go through the fairway, and it's also like crap right, OB left, OB through the
Right, I
fairway.
guess yeah, because there's trees and
Yeah,
homes. Yeah.
to land it on a down slope slash slide slope, which rolls into the water. And then, like, if you don't hit it in the perfect angle of the fairway, you're just like blocked out, and you have to like chip sideways. It's that like other than that hole, and then like number 3, where like the water hazard juts out and takes up half the hole. Like I love that course. Other than those 2 holes, I think those holes.
Right, you're right because that water does come out so much that it gives you like this much fairway, and then you go and there's cart path and there's homes like to the left. I
Yeah,
got you. I got you. I'm there with you.
it's
I'm there
like
with you.
it's like aim at the houses, and hopefully you either don't hit in the houses or you don't hit in the water, and you hit in the small area in between. So it's kind of silly, but in terms of that, I was playing a tournament there, and I was playing like unbelievably well for the front 9. I think through 10, I was either 6 or 7 under. And after I got done with the 10th hole, I'm sitting there like on the 11th par 3, and I hit a good shot onto the green. I have like a 30-footer, and as soon as I got over that putt, I'm just like, it's finally where it's set in. I'm like, man, I'm really far under par. And then from there, I just tried to the next 3 holes. I just tried to like protect it as hard as possible. I started like going easy, and I left that putt on 11. Like I had like a 30-footer. I left it like 10 feet short, and then the next hole, I like got too scared, and I hit a hit like 2 bad tee shots in a row, and I ended up. I was 7 under through 10, and I think I ended up through 14 like 2 under. So,
Well,
and
okay,
it's
your situation was way different than my situation. I was like this, even par. Next thing you know, I'm finishing +6, which isn't bad for me, but I lost a lot of money because the guy I played with went 71. He went 71. And it's just so like I guess because and I was fighting my swing all day after I had one hole where I didn't play well, right? And I think as soon as that happened, like the wheels fell.
you're out of the zone up here
Yeah, dude, I
because
was.
you have that stretch of good golf, and then obviously just like golf always does, it's always gonna have chances are you're always gonna have a few bad shots. So you're in that flow state where everything's going great, and then some adversity happens, and it's being able to accept that that's always going to be there, and be able to be like, I'm playing well, had a little bit of adversity on this hole, that's part of the odds, and let me just keep move on and doing the things that I'm doing, not let that spiral into a down endless hole where I'm like, oh, it's playing great, I have one bad hole now. I no longer have confidence, and I can't play golf anymore because I had this bad stretch, right?
Right here, Papa M on the stream, and David Cullen.
I guess I'm Papa.
Is that you? Are you Papa M?
Oh, I guess.
So right there, thank you, David, for chiming in, my brother. Okay, so you know what we talk about being able to assess and lessons. What has been the best maybe tip or lesson that somebody's given you?
Uh, I'll give one of each. I'll give one mental lesson, and I'll give one technical tip.
And bill
So
me later. All right.
I got you. So I guess the best piece of mental advice that I've ever heard is I mean, it's probably to be able to one reset after every shot, and that's something that you have to learn and have enough emotional maturity to not let your anger or your disappointment and let that spiral out of control. And that's why golf is such a great correlation to life. Is and that's another reason why high level businessmen like to have rounds of golf with clients because you get to learn a whole lot, about a person playing a round of golf because it's a reflection, right? So I think in terms of mental, being able to reset after every shot, and then honestly, like, and this is applied a little bit more to my short game as of late, but I want to start applying it more to like my longer game, is just like having full, like, even if it's silly, like having full and utter confidence that you're going to do whatever you put your mind to. Like the best putting tip, or not tip, but the best putting mindset that I figured out for me. And I think if you listen to Jack Nicklaus, he has the same exact mindset. But I started putting really well, not because of a new putter change or a new technique or new practice routine. I started putting way better as soon as I told myself that right before every single putt I hit, I said, this putt is going in. And it kind of started with just for fun when I was playing like goofy rounds of golf with my friends. You know how people always talk about walking putts in, right? And you walk it in, Kevin Na, you get there before the hole. And at the end of the day, like the best putters are doing that because they've told themselves before the putt's even gone in that this is going in. So they're pre-walking it because they have full and utter trust in what they're doing. Even if it's, 100 foot, breaking 35 feet, I'm over that putt saying, this is going in, I'm going to walk this in. And I mean, 99, like half of golf is being able to commit to what you want to be able to do and not have self-doubt. So I'd say not having self-doubt and having full confidence, whether it's, realistic or not, and then being able to reset after every shot, which, believe it or not, is probably the hardest part about golf, because it takes a whole lot of emotional maturity on your side. And at least from what I've seen, people that haven't gone through a whole lot of adversity, especially like let's say they're an elite golfer who've always won and succeeded at the highest levels, you usually see that even on the PGA Tour, they're the biggest temper tantrum babies because everything always goes well for them. They never have to struggle with any adversity. So when adversity does show up on the golf course, you see it in their emotions, right? And I feel like that's one of the things that I've probably improved on the most from this last fall coming into this spring is just since I dealt with all that adversity, it's a lot easier to be able to handle shot to shot. And then I'd say in terms of a technical tip, I'd probably say the most important technical tip is being able to get a consistent strike on the golf ball. And what I mean by that is being able to catch the ball and then the ground first and get compression is step one of golf. And then after you do that is just club face stability. And if you can do those two things, and a majority of people don't even realize that they do that already. If you're a halfway decent chipper, you have good club face stability and you're hitting the ball first and then the ground. So I'd say the biggest tip for that is if you can do that already, start with chipping because chipping's the first baseline point, and then go into pitching. And from there, the golf swing is just an extended version of a pitch shot, right? You're hitting the ball first and you're keeping the club face stable, right? Like a whole lot of issues that people have is like if you told them to hit a 40-yard pitch shot, they wouldn't make all the weird, crazy moves that they make in their driver swing. It'd be very simple.
Damn.
They keep passive. They turn their body and be very fluid through the golf ball. But as soon as you give them a 6-iron, they look like a whole new abomination, right?
Okay. So out of all the other stuff you said prior to that, you lost me. But you brought it in right there because you made a great point in regards to there's not a lot of room for error when you're doing all this crazy stuff with a longer swing, right? On a longer club, right? With a shorter or a smaller lofted club, right? Or whatever you say it, right? A less degree. And that makes a lot of sense right there, is that it should be the same. But you know what happens if you don't do any of that well like me? It's right there. I'm a grinder, bro. Okay, tell me. I need you to say it honestly and say it here because the internet In everything on the internet's real. All right. So, what did you think of my game, my golf game?
I think your off the tee game and your longer clubs are really good. I think your distance wedges are pretty
So,
bad, and then your is also it's like okay. I'd say
show's over,
I'd say
bro.
I'd
Hey,
say
sorry,
you have
sorry,
the
I'm
hard
losing you. I'm losing you.
you have the hard. Like, I'll tell you this: you have the hard part of golf down. 99% of people that struggle with high numbers and playing bad golf, almost all of it is from off the tee. Like if you can't get off the tee, then how are you going to hit approach shots? How are you going to hit chips? How are you going to hit putts? You're in the trees. You're punching out. You're out of bounds. You're getting strokes this way. So I'd probably say like the most important part of golf, and you can see this through just looking at who the best golfers are in the world, is hitting your driver in play, one, and then hitting your driver far, two. And then from there, everything else goes down from to approach to chipping and putting. Like I 100% do not believe in the theory that chipping and putting is the most important part of the game. Because at the end of the day, how are you going to get to a position where you're going to chip and putt if you just sliced 4 tee shots in a row?
Amen. Amen. I got the almost straight part. I just don't have the long part down. I got a great question right here. And Curtis, thank you so much for chiming in, my brother. You need to go back and watch this show because you know what? Matthew makes a lot of great points in regards to this question. But if you could kind of answer it for him real quick, it's a great question right here. Curtis Spillman right here. If you have a good junior golfer child that is scholarship material, what's the best way to get them exposure besides doing well in the junior tour? Can you reach out to college coaches and directly send them videos, stats and videos? I think we kind of covered this, but if you just want to kind of let him know right now because he's on right now, if you want to give him just like a short 20-second version of that.
So the best way to get exposure to college golf coaches other than just playing great in tournaments is one, what I did leading up into my recruiting season in June, probably starting in January. I sent a monthly email out to all 80 of those coaches, telling them exactly what I'm working on, what tournaments I'm going to, what progressions I'm making, and what my intentions are for college golf. And I sent one of those out every single month to all of those programs. I'd say that's one. And if you can have you and your kid, if you want to team up and help them with the email, that's fine. Which is basically what my dad does. But a majority of kids don't know how to write an email at all. I'm kind of lucky because my dad works in the computer space. And he
Chat
works in
GPT, bro. Chat GPT now.
Yeah, I mean, like you don't even have to write emails anymore, honestly. Like, you need to do it. But coaches really like appreciate that because they don't get that from a lot of kids. So you being able to give them insight, and then also, like I said, a big part of it is how are coaches going to come and watch you if they don't know which tournaments you're going to go play, right?
Damn,
So
these are some
being
great
able to
points,
go
bro.
here, and here, and you could even like let's say there's some college coaches that or there's some colleges that you really want to go to. You can even go as far as asking them in an email, where are you going to be, right? And I guarantee you they'll be more than happy to tell you, hey, I'm going to this tournament this summer, this tournament this summer. But I'd say outside of that, easiest way to do it, and every single college coach has one now, is Instagram.
See, and I
Get your
love that. I love that right there. You know what? I don't mean to cut you off, but you know what? Curtis, go back and watch the beginning of the show. Go back and watch, and how Matthew will tell you he gives you the blueprint. He'll give you the game plan right there, and that's great. Making you the aggressor, making you you're the one, you're initiating it, right? And I think people love that, and I think you put it kind of on their lap, and maybe when you weren't on the radar, you put yourself on the radar right there. Okay, so right here, favorite golf movie.
Favorite golf movie? Ooh, I mean, it's Happy Gilmore. Like I feel like most people my age would probably say the same thing.
That's the safe.
I've watched almost
You're
all of
bailing
them,
out.
but
This is the safe shot. You're laying up right now. You're laying up right now.
I'd say Happy Gilmore or 7 Days in Utopia. I don't know how many people know about that movie,
Yeah, oh
but
yeah.
that movie.
Was it badass to play Boot Ranch Did you see that 7 Days in
No,
Utopia before
that was
Boot
the
Ranch?
craziest part. I didn't know that Boot Ranch was in that movie until after I played Boot Ranch. Because then
Were you like,
I read
oh,
it, I was like, wait, that was Boot Ranch in the movie, and they're like, yeah. I'm like, oh shoot! So I went and rewatched it. I'm like, no, it is. That's crazy.
see,
I
but
did not know.
and I think it's funny, right? Because they say the Valero Open or the Texas Open, right? And people think, oh, that's J, or I say JW a lot because we stay there, we do staycations out there. We say, oh, you know what, that's TPC San Antonio, and I'm like, no, it ain't. It's Boot Ranch, right? And so it's like, but they're like, hey, facing against KJ Choi, right? Hey, 18th hole Valero Open, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so we got right there. What is the one? What has been your favorite course so far that you've played amongst all of these amazing tracks in Texas?
Wow. In Texas. Okay. Well, right now, I mean, honestly, that one's pretty easy. It's Wild Spring Dunes, and this is it's a public course in Mount Enterprise, Texas. I made a reel about it on my Instagram, pretty in depth actually. It's probably my first or second most viral reel, just because it's a pretty brand new golf course. It just opened.
Say it for some people that might be listening onto this audio only. Your Instagram.
Oh, so my Instagram is at matt.pawly.golf. My last name is Pawly, so it's matt.pawly.golf for my Instagram. But I made a reel about it recently, and I was one of the first people to go out there and play. They don't even have 18 holes open yet. It's currently 8 holes. But it's designed by the same people that did Bandon Dunes, which is Tom Doak, and then they're making another course, Corin Crenshaw. And I mean, at least as far as I've known, Tom Doak and Corin Crenshaw haven't made a less than stunning golf course ever in their career.
Shoot,
So,
man. Heavyweights, the heavyweights of golf architecture right now.
yep. So I heard about the course opening. I'm not 100% sure how. No, I heard about it because I was looking at other courses that I could like look into going into play, and then I saw like a Golf Digest article about it, and it was like new course opening, and I saw some pictures for it, and I was just like, man, this is wild. So I went out
It's
there.
Wild Dunes, duh.
Yeah, exactly, right. So I got up. I had like an 8 a.m. tee time, and I had to like call them because they were like constantly booked, and I had to like call them for like an hour, and I was like on hold forever, and I ended up getting a tee time like 2 months in advance, and I had like a 8:30 tee time, so I got up at like 5 a.m. and drove 2.5 hours from Humboldt up into the middle of nowhere, and it's like it's literally you're driving through a one lane road, and then you just turn off into a dirt road and you go into the forest, and it's just like paradise.
Those are the best courses, though. We know that
Exactly.
as we've seen, right? As you've seen, like now, right? That's where there's land at. That's where there's land at, and so those are the best. Those winding roads, especially like the one will take you to the Covey out there, baby, at the Big Easy there in Columbus, Texas.
Right. And so that's what I was saying is in terms of if you're a current like Texas golfer and you're like, man, I want to play like really nice golf courses, but they're all like either super private or whatever. I promise you, at least in my opinion, if you go play that course, which is public, you'll be like, well, why was I trying to get on anywhere else? Like it's probably the most visually stunning golf course in Texas, because I feel like in general Texas is like you either get ranch land or you get hill country.
They
And this
say
is
hill.
like the
They say
ultimate-
hill. They say hill country, right? They say.
They say hill country, but it's like, I mean, you just got it. You just have to go there, and once you're there, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You'll just be like, wow, every other course that I played is just not comparable.
So right here, as we kind of wind down and we get right here, we're finishing out here on hole 17 and 18 of the podcast. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Don't forget, we've been presented by FOREBROS Tour, Never Golf Alone Again, coming live from the Texas Chancla Studios. And if you ever want to see any old episode, all you got to do is go to or you don't even have to do the www anymore. It's nothingisob.com. Make sure you reach out and you follow my boy, Matt Pawly, at matt.pawly.golf on Instagram. Check out his reels. Check out his social media. All right. So earlier you mentioned the PGM, right? And for people that don't understand that, that is the professional golf management like program that these universities have, and it's great and it's beautiful. They used to have one here in town for superintendents to be supers. It was like a grass, like it was like a course, like courses on grass management. And you know what? Like I hear these because Bruce Berger, who's the director of agronomy out at Quarry, he used to be one of the professors or one of the teachers that taught that class. And so I think those are things that are lost arts. Professional management, professional management programs and superintendent programs. All right. That's one thing. Well, the last thing I want to ask you about, as being a golfer at the U of H, have you seen any of the former alumni, Jim Nance, Boom Boom, Fred Couples? Have you seen any of these legends from the U of H? Have they ever stopped by the facility or anything during your short time so far?
During my short time, no. But I do know that they do visit. I mean, I've only been here for, 4 or 5 months, so I'd probably have to wait and see for that one. But I do know that they are around. For example, I think um, Mike Booker, who's one of the best amateur golfers in the Texas area ever. He's won hundreds of tournaments. He's directly donated to our program, and I see him out here all the time. And then I mean, I see Patrick Reed around here more than I see them. But I do think specifically Jim Nance and Fred Couples live on the West Coast, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm not sure how often they come over here. So I'll have to see on that one.
All right. So when you do though, you gotta let me know. Okay. When you do, you gotta let me know. All right. And my last question for you is, who are you playing your final round of golf with?
My final round of golf with, man. Well, I wish I could say it'd be my I wish I could say it'd be my dad or my golf coach, but I don't know if they'll be alive long enough because I'll
It, it,
probably be playing until
it,
I'm freaking. So,
but it's like in a perfect world. Like who is your perfect final round of golf?
can I pick more than one person?
Of course you can. It's your final round.
Let's see. My final round of golf. I'd say with my dad. I'd say with my golf coach, with my grandpa, and I'd probably say, and then I put my best friend in there, Gavin Sykes. He's the kid that's at the Sam Houston State PGM program. Been my best friend for probably 4.5 years now. So I'd probably say that'd be my dream golfing group right there
Well,
for sure.
I mean, you'd have to pay extra fees on that one, but I mean, I'm sure you can make it
And a
work.
five. Listen, it's gonna be a five sum,
Hey guys,
and
pace of play, guys, pace of play.
I don't care. Listen,
I love it.
got
I love it, brother. Matthew, thank you so much for being on. Thank you for you being vulnerable on here and you're just being truthful and just and telling people how maybe that next kid or that next parent can help their child. And man, dude, we wish you nothing but the best. I'm so thankful for you. Hopefully, I'll see you here in a couple of weeks. And
yeah.
you know what? I'm really thankful, man, for your time, dude. And we want to see you make it, dude. You know what? You've been an awesome guest. Is there any questions you have for me as we close out?
How much is the burrito?
Dude, it's only like $6.95.
Okay, so my first stop in San Antonio is getting a burrito and then posting it on my Instagram story,
The
tagging it,
OB, the OB burrito.
tagging at nothing is,
That's
and then
right, man.
and then making another post 4 hours later talking about how the burrito is now slowing me down for the
It's
rest.
it's too. It's probably gonna be like maybe an hour and a half or maybe even less.
Oh, shit.
Well, Matt, as we close out, as we really close out here, do you have maybe any shout outs you want to give a shout out to as we close on out?
At least I'd say my biggest shout outs would um, be to my parents, um,
I don't think I'd be able to speak in a educated manner as much as I would now without their support. And I'm sure I'm gonna get picked apart by my mom by the amount of times I've said or stuttered in this
It's
podcast.
not too
But
bad. It's not too bad. I'll tell you one thing late off air. I'll tell you one thing later off air that you can work on. But because you're a little bit and you're in my world now. Hey, you're in my world now, Grandma. All right.
oh no. And then I'd say my parents and my grandparents. I mean, just endless support for my dreams. I feel like a lot of kids don't have support from both sides, and then people from outside that are willing to do anything and everything to help someone else see their dreams. So I'm grateful for that. I'm also grateful for my golf coach. He's the same way. Been coaching me since I was 5. Hasn't charged me a dime for lessons since I was 5.
He's waiting. He's waiting for you to make it big so he can
Yeah, right.
cash out, baby. He's gonna
Gonna
cash
cash
out.
out at the end, right? And then I'd say just grateful for my friends, grateful for my teammates here in college golf. I feel like we're gonna have a really fun and good environment coming into this fall season. And then just special thanks to my roommate, who's I don't know, he's in his room over there sleeping, I think already. But I wouldn't have the insight, and I wouldn't be the person that I am today without him. So shout out to Kevin on. He's a senior here.
Well, thank you so much, my brother Matt, for being on. And make sure you hit him up, guys, and make sure you give a follow and share it to somebody else. Tell the next person about Matt or at Matt Pawly, matt.pawly.golf. Hey, my brother, I appreciate it, dude. I'll be hitting you up soon. And hey, man,
We'll play some golf.
I'm ready. I'll be better. Hey, I'll be better. Don't be giving me no bacchiotomies this time, my bro. All right.
Listen, anybody else that wants to play golf, please hit me up. I'm more than friendly. Don't be scared of me. So
Hey, you're ready to be a guest at their course, right? You're ready.
either way, man. Hey, listen, you want to come up here and play golf club at Houston? Find a weekend and we'll go play 36 and
Ah!
all that.
Hey, my man.
Just drop of a hat. Let me know.
There it is, my dog, man. Thank you so much, man. Have a good night, brother.
You too. Thanks.
Oh, man. I'm rooting for him, dude. I'm rooting for my dog, Matt, man. I'm rooting for him. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in and for chiming in. Some great questions. If you didn't have a chance, man, we went 2 hours deep. But again, it's golf talk, man. And this dude, as you can tell, he's a golf, a guru of mind. He knows, he's a golf nerd. He's a golf junkie. He can tell you more about swing stuff than I could. I was like, man, dumb it down for me. But he made some great points right there in regards to, you know what, you got to make sure that you're hitting the ball first in these chips or these pitches, and then then the swing can progress. And I'm like, man. It's like I'm hitting the ground a lot of times with my chips and putts. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in and chiming in. I know we're all over the place in regards to when we have the show during the week, but I'm so thankful for your support just because my teaching, my coaching schedule. My shout out goes to my coaches, my golf coaches, Isaac Amarillo and Michael Garza Pena. They're really working hard with our golfers out of the school. We had 4 medalists we had 3 medalists in the first flight. My bad. We had 2 medalists in the first flight. Strike that again. We had 2 medalists in the first flight from the boys' side. We had the champion medalist golfer in first flight. And we also had on the girls' side and the Masters the first and fourth. And then we also had the Masters first and third on the boys' side as well. Congrats to all my golfers, and I'm thankful to my coaches for the job and for all the work that they do pouring into our young golfers and really helping them, creating a great environment. And I'm so thankful for them because, man, they're rocking as a district comes up for us here in 2 weeks. I'm really excited, and I'm excited for my kids and for my golf coaches. They've done a great job, and I couldn't be more proud of them, and I'm thankful. Hey guys, make sure continue guys to follow the show. Click like, subscribe, and share. Make sure if you want to see any of our past episodes, we're on YouTube. It's Nothing Is OB South Texas Golf Podcast. Check out nothingisob.com. You can find FOREBROS Tour. There's a tab on there. All you gotta do is click it. It'll take you to Unknown Golf. It'll take you to our social media sites. Never golf alone again, guys. And don't forget, we've been coming live from the Texas Chancla studios all night. Make sure you hit up my guy Jesse Hernandez at jessehernandezlaw.com. He's not just one of the best criminal defense attorneys, one of the best lawyers. He's one of the best people out there, and he's a hack golfer right now. He's an amazing hack golfer. He's one of the best amateur hack golfers out there. He's living his best golf life out in Africa right now, playing some amazing rounds. So make sure you hit him up for any DWI, criminal court cases, personal injury. He's the man. Hit him up at jessehernandezlaw.com. Hit him up at 210-807-8656. That's the Texas Chancla. He will slap the opposition for you. And with the Chancla, he'll put it on there. Remember, guys, continue to love a little bit harder, love a little more. That's golf, bro.